You are watching Wow Is Me TV, and today we have a very special guest, a longtime friend of mine and founder of the amazing company Piano Wizard. Chris Salter is joining us today. Welcome, Chris.
Hi, good to see you again.
Good to see you too. I'm so happy that you could make it and you could join us because there have been some really exciting developments that I have found about things that are going on with Piano Wizard. Mostly this story about Jed. And I'd love for you to, first of all, talk a little bit about what the company is, your background, and how you started it.
Well, Piano Wizard is an amazingly simple video game that teaches kids to play real music on real instruments, and it's worked really much better than I ever hoped. And we've got kind of an amazing list of testimonials and awards and all that. But we started the company, in 2001 and moved through development and raising our initial capital and launched it in a test market in 2004 and 5. And then we started to grow it, and we got some offers to do some toy licenses, which we did, and then the recession hit and we kind of took a step back. One of the things we had done when we were in high development was develop an academy version, which is basically an educational version that really tries to take the promise of the game all the way to the piano and reading sheet music and the whole 9 yards. And we were successful in that, far more successful than I think any of us really expected. And that's where Jed comes in, is that Jed showed us that this really works on a profound level in ways that we don't honestly understand.
So to give the audience a little background, Jed was discovered on YouTube. A year or so after he got the Piano Wizard Academy, his mom made a video and started posting these videos on YouTube. And remarkably, what happened was, at first, you see a nonverbal autistic boy who can't ask for a glass of water, he can't put together a 4-piece puzzle, and he's definitely requiring 24-hour care. And if you can imagine having an 8-year-old who can't take care of themselves at all, this is a lot of pressure on the family. But she recognized that he could look at color and identify color. So she got him the game. Within 4 months, the video shows, and I wish I could figure out how to put these clips in here and show you this, but here's this little boy playing the game, playing it well, making music, turns around and says, "I did good, Mommy," in just 4 months. And the results after that have been even more astonishing. So tell me what happened when you first discovered Jed's story on YouTube and how you reached out to the family and what's been going on since then.
Well, this recession hit us hard, and we got a postcard one day from his mom. We had replaced the keyboard. Sometimes the keyboards have issues, and we just replaced it, and she thanked our tech. But wrote this very nice postcard saying that her son had learned, even though he couldn't really handle audio communication, language, very tough for him. Because of the color coding, he was able to learn, at that point, I think it was 30 songs. And we were very gratified, but then I found that review that she had posted actually a few weeks after that she got it, and it took Jed 3 weeks to do the very first song. He was that challenged, but for her it was a huge, huge victory. By the time I found her email and connected the dots from the postcard to that, I reached out to her. I said, "Are you the same lady that wrote to us?" And she said, "Oh yeah, he's way past that." And I think that then that's the video that we see where he's playing Over the Hill and Through the Woods and fluent on both left and right hand and reading it at the 4th level where it's notation. And we were all kind of stunned, and she asked if we thought that was affecting his language. And though most kids are fluent by the time they learn to play piano, we knew that the 30-40% jumps in math, new brain cells. We knew that the piano is really a profound influencer of the brain development. So we guessed, yes, that's probable, but I asked her if I could share that video, and I started to reach out and send special needs kids and schools units and get more feedback. And we got a lot of feedback from the autism community in particular. But about a year later,
the big thing for me, when you first showed me that, my child is ADD Asperger's, and he's highly verbal, so that's not a problem at all. Getting him to sit still and keep his booty on the chair, that's the big issue. But I do understand what it is to have a child who is on the spectrum, and it hit me right in the chest. Because do you think about it, if you have a normal child, you don't know what it means to not have a normal child. And you don't understand how hard it is, and all of the things you have to think about. It's not just pack a lunch, it's everything, like making sure it's the right bread, because otherwise they won't eat it and they could have a meltdown. And there's so many more things to think about when you have a special needs child, that to have something that makes any improvement at all is a godsend. And I watched those videos, and I watched the transformation of this little boy, and I was so impressed. I immediately said, we have to get this message out to the world, because here's the thing. It's not medication, and if it doesn't work, oh well, they'll have just learned how to play the piano. And like you said, 30 to 40% jumps in math for normal kids, but think of the world opening up. I mean, I'm tearing up now. Seeing this kid go from nonverbal, completely helpless, to now going to school. Yeah, he started late, so he's behind, but I have a feeling he's going to catch up. And he's now playing the piano, and to my ears, Juilliard level, by heart. Really exciting concertos and whole, to me it's just astonishing. So, I know that you have other people who have sent in things that had amazing results as well. So what is it about the piano that makes the brain take hold and grow?
I believe that it's the hands. The hands have almost 50% of your nerve endings in the body, and the brain is not an independent organ. It's intimately connected with your whole nervous system. But the piano is left and right brain, right? And your parallel processing. You have harmony, melody, rhythm all together. And it is, intimately massaging and stimulating both sides of the brain. And I think that's really the secret here for Jed. As you saw, a year later we reached out to him, and his mom says, we're done with the whole 2-year curriculum. Do you have more songs? Because and I'm like flabbergasted, because that's Bach, Beethoven, Mozart, and he played Bach for us. It took me 2 years to play Bach. Okay, so when he went through this with no piano teacher and that, my jaw dropped. And then she shared the other stuff, that he's doing simple math, that he's reading at a 2nd grade level, that he's going to go into school now, that he's able to talk normally with the family, and in her words, our family's almost normal. I think I
totally want to cry. Yeah. Do you know what that means?
Yeah.
You gave her child. The child that was locked inside of that body, she actually has her child now. Oh.
So it's been, for us, a lighthouse. We're like, wow, this showed us far more potential to the product in terms of brain development than we ever imagined. And now we're doing more research. We're looking for people to help us do white papers on this. But Jed is not stopped at all. In fact, we had an advanced curriculum that we had developed but not released yet. We had to get it to him. We were like, okay, so he's playing Bartok and Chopin and Mozart, and we're like, go, kid. And he's 10 now, right? Where will he be when he's 20? There's
Juilliard on a full scholarship.
I hope so. From your lips to God's ears. We really feel like we're just tapping the surface of this, and we want to get the word out, and I appreciate you helping us. But there's so much going on in music and the piano, and all our game really does is make that universally accessible. The music and the piano really is what's doing the heavy lifting, but the game gives him a ramp in that, he's never had a piano teacher, and you saw him play in Beethoven's Fifth Symphony for 2 hands. You're like,
yeah,
wow.
By heart.
Yeah.
On a real piano, by heart, without looking, and not just pressing keys. There's some people who are operators.
Right.
This was full of passion and depth and meaning and heart.
That is the, to unveil those things is very gratifying for us. But we're very determined to learn more about this. In fact, we're working with an autism browser, and we're going to try and get an iPad and iPhone versions out for the autism community, and see what else we can do to get more of an outreach into that community and any of the special needs communities. I think you summed up the really moving thing as a parent. And my kids are neurotypical, right? They're not typical, but they're in that range. But I can't imagine what this mom, her dedication, 8 years, right? Just working, trying to find a way to crack that walnut, and then to have that blossom. And then she was so gracious as to share that story with us and really allow us to bring that to the whole world. So I'm, pretty thrilled.
I'm very, very thrilled, and I am happy to help spread the word and talk to all of the parents out there. If you have a special needs child, look into Piano Wizard. It may work, it may not work. If it doesn't work, they'll just know how to play the piano. If it does work, can you just think of the possibilities of what could happen if you got some results? Just amazing. So thank you, Chris. I really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing your story and everything about Piano Wizard. And if you want to find Chris, you can find him at pianowizard.com. He's easily reachable, a good friend of mine, and a wonderful man to know.
Thank you so much, AJ.